feelings down, imagining himself burying them deep in a dark hole like the one at the center of the broken forest. Sacrifices would need to be made to free them all from the dragon's influence. Once it was over, he'd take his rightful place in the kingdom, and it would all have been worth it. "I'll do it," he said. "I know you will," Bronshanks replied. He reached out and placed one hand on the creature's shoulder as if to reassure him, but then his thin fingers gripped tight into the fur. "Fail me, and there will be a price to pay." "I won't fail," he whispered to himself now, so quietly he couldn't hear his own voice over the gentle stream of the waterfall. "I can't." He tensed as the cranes in the pool suddenly stopped guzzling down fish, froze, and looked over their shoulder toward a clump of trees. Then they took to the sky, their long, spindly legs trailing as they flapped away. The thing that had startled them stepped out of the trees and paused to watch them take off. It was the one called Pebble. Exactly the panda I'm waiting for. Pebble snuffled around the ground by the pool, and then began to make his way up to the top of the rocks, where the bamboo canes grew thick and green, hiding the creature who waited among them. Within a moment, they would be almost nose to nose, but by the time Pebble saw the creature, it would be too late. Pebble's death would be the last snowflake falling on the mountainside before the avalanche. The new age was about to begin. Chapter 1. Rain floated gently beside the bank of the river, feeling the currents running through her fur, the waving fronds of the weeds in the shallows tickling her paw pads. Her stone was balanced on her chest, droplets of river water sparkling on its deep blue surface. She held her breath, put one paw to her chest to hold on to the stone, and pushed herself below the water. Beneath the river, the world was quiet but in constant motion. Scales flashed as fish darted out of the way of the slowly sinking panda. Specks of dust and pieces of vegetation flowed around and past her. From here, she felt as if she could reach out and touch every part of the kingdom. "Great Dragon," Rain called silently, holding the blue stone tight. "I need you. Please, if you're out there, answer me." She waited, suspended in the water until her lungs burned with the effort of holding her breath, but there was no answer. She burst up from under the river, sucked in a deep breath, and let it out as a spluttering growl. "Come on," she snapped, holding the stone in front of her face. "What's the point of having this thing if you can't even tell me when you're in danger?" She took a steadying breath. "Sorry," she said, although she was pretty sure by now that the great dragon could no longer hear her, whether she was cursing it or apologizing. "I'm sure you tried." She swam over toward the bank and sat on a submerged rock, the water of the river lapping around her middle. It was a warm morning, and the river and the southern forest were quiet. Most pandas couldn't possibly know that terrible danger had returned to the Bamboo Kingdom. Even I wouldn't have known if Nimbletail hadn't risked her life to open my eyes to what's really happening. How long would she have gone on as she always had, swimming in the river, spending time with Lychee, offering advice to the animals who came to ask her for it? She would have mourned the loss of her best friend, Pebble, and her own mistakes with her brother Ghost. But would she have known those things were part of a conspiracy to bring down the dragon speakers and the dragon itself? Someone had killed Pebble. It had seemed like Ghost might have been responsible, and in her grief, she'd told him he was no dragon speaker and sent him away. But deep down, she knew it had been a mistake. After everything Nimbletail had told her, she was certain Pebble's murder had been intended to isolate Ghost from the other pandas, from everyone, so that the two snow leopards could chase him into the mountains and kill him. "I will not believe he's dead," she told herself. "I refuse to give up on him again. I've done that too many times." But until she knew for